Welcome to this launch episode of In Bed with Neil Moodie. My guest on this episode is my dear friend, the wonderful Wendy Rowe. Hailing from Essex, Wendy is one of the world's leading makeup artists in the fashion and beauty industry, who not only has a successful career painting the faces of some of the world's top models and celebrities, but has also published her own book, Eat Beautiful, launched a cold-pressed juice for the skin, and was also recently appointed as Global Creative Director and Makeup Artist for Max Factor. Wendy came to my place in London with her dog, where we chatted on my bed about her career to date and what she's up to right now. This launch episode is also the only available interview from the series to view on YouTube and Instagram TV on my channel, Neil Moodie, and Wendy's, Wendy Rowe. Hi everyone, so I am here with my gorgeous friend, Wendy Rowe. And this is the very first episode of my podcast series, In Bed with Neil Moodie. And also this is going to be the only episode that will be recorded for YouTube. So if you want to watch it as opposed to just listening or watch us, then you can watch it on YouTube and Instagram TV. And we're also joined by Wendy's gorgeous dog, Teddy Rowe, who is... We all love.
It's a bit floppy.
I know. So, hi, Wend.
Hi, Neil.
Thanks for joining me on my bed.
Yeah, we love that.
I know. So, Wend, let's get straight in there. So, I'm going to start with a little sort of like for everybody, just to give them, for anybody that doesn't know who you are, and if you don't, why not?
Yeah, why not?
But I just want to ask you, so where did you grow up? Teddy's messing with questions. where he likes playing with them. Where did you grow up and what was your childhood like?
I grew up in Waltham Abbey in Essex.
Is that actually in Essex, Waltham Abbey?
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's on the borders of Middlesex and Hertfordshire, so it's right on the cusp. It's near Open Forest. I went to a regular comprehensive school. Mm-hmm. All right, don't mind us, Teddy Rowe, with the towel.
Teddy's leaving us now.
Yeah,
shall we get him down? Oh, he's all right there.
Yeah. I went to a regular comprehensive school. It was pretty quite normal. My dad was a structural engineer. My mum worked at the co-op, the shoe store. Mm. And that was it really. Mm. I mean, it was it was quite outsidey, I suppose. We used to go scrumping and blackberry picking because it was quite, quite countrified, and it was a little town, but it was very easy to get into central London. Yeah. Like 15 minutes, really.
Mm. And did you go into London a lot when you were young?
Yeah. I mean, I only wanted to work in the West End. That's it. I just wanted to work in the West End. Yeah. That was my dream then. Mm. And I did work in the West End. Mm. And now I live central London.
Well, yeah. So would you say you're more like your mum or your dad?
I have traits of both. My mum was definitely the creative one. My mum was the one that made all our clothes when we were kids with my sister, so we both looked the same.
Did she used to dress you identically?
Yeah, but even down to bikinis. My mum would make bikinis, but made out of nylon because there wasn't any lycra then. Yeah, long dresses, stuff like that. So my mum was the creative. She was the one that used to bake, knit, crochet, everything like that. I can't knit or crochet.
Right. She was just very sort of proactive with stuff.
Yeah, you know, she was always making something, and my dad was more of the logic. He was more of the technical, more of the...
mathematical,
mathematical and structured. Yeah. Which I like a structure, as some of my friends would know, but it's a random structure. Yeah. So it's a bit all over the place too, but it needs to have a start.
It's a chaotic structure.
Yeah, it needs a start, middle and end.
What was your first job?
I mean, I've had many jobs, haven't I?
Well, I know. Well, I've actually do you remember we were talking earlier before we started, and I said to you, I know you've had quite a few jobs because it's a standing joke between you and us as your friends that you've pretty much done every job that there is known to man. You'll suddenly be chatting with Wendy and you'll go, "Oh God, I went to, I don't know, it could be like a hat shop. I worked in a hat shop."
Well, I actually haven't worked in a hat shop. But I've done loads of jobs, and a lot of them for not very long, might I add.
Right. So short.
Yeah, maybe shoot spurts, and maybe just once. I might have done something, like for one day. My first job when I was at school was I used to work down Roman Road Market.
Right.
When I was 14.
Were you shouting 3 for £1?
Yeah. And it was like Lacoste I was selling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Lacoste t-shirts.
Yeah.
Be like, over here. $1.99 Lacoste t-shirts. Come and get your Lacoste t-shirts.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so I done that.
So you learnt to project your voice quite young.
I mean, at first I was really embarrassed. I'd be like, and I thought, oh my God, I'm never going to sell anything. And the more I sold, the more money I would get. So obviously I got into it.
So you're working on commission.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And, you got basic money, but they give you more because they, if you've done really well. So, so that was my first job. And I used to get up really early on a Saturday and a Sunday morning, Teddy Rowe, like about 5 o'clock.
Right.
And then travel from Essex. I used to travel into Roman Road in the East End. I used to do that and leave Valley Market on a Sunday. Yeah. So, I mean, I remember doing a press thing once, and we was in like Japan or something like that, and I said to them, they said, "What was your first job?" And I said I was about 14, and then they said to the PR,
horrified.
Yeah,
that
they
you started
thought
work so early.
it was like child labour. I was like, no, I wanted to do it. I wanted to have money to do my own thing and not have to ask my mum and dad for anything. Yeah, because I wanted to do what I wanted to do. Yeah.
I think you might be slipping on there, but there you go. Is that better?
Yeah. Very small in comparison.
Slight adjustment of pillow. Yeah. So what was your first job when you left school then? Because obviously that was more like I had a little job when I was 14. I used to stack shelves in the local supermarket.
Oh, right. Okay, but it's good. It's good to have a job when you're a kid. Yeah. But I don't think you're allowed to do that anymore, are you?
Probably not. No. Isn't it slave labour?
Yeah. But, I had quite a lot of money. I felt like I was loaded. I had like £100 every week.
Well, I remember because I wanted things and my mum and dad would be like, well...
We can't afford that.
We give you pocket money, but we can't afford the things that you want.
It's like £2 versus 100. I mean, what am I going to do?
Get yourself a little job.
Yeah. When I left school, I was on the youth training scheme. I done studio graphics, which I only done because I went to the careers officer and they said to me, "What do you want to do?" And obviously there wasn't anything on there that I thought I wanted to do, but it says studio graphics, and I only took it because I thought it was working in a TV studio. I didn't realise it was a studio. Was like you could have a studio, not a television studio.
Yeah.
So so I done that. So it was technical drawing. And we done layouts for loads of ads, lots of fashion ads. Done all of the stuff for Body Shop for colourings. Yeah, so that's what was my first job.
So you going back to what you were just saying about you thought it was a TV studio. Did you have a bit of an obsession with TV and radio? Because I did.
Yeah, I mean, I liked anything if I thought it was like TV, film, dance, singing, anything like that. Yeah, I wanted to do something like that, but no one really gave you that chance. I didn't say, I did want to go to stage school, and we talk about that. Because didn't you go to stage school?
I did drama as a kid, and I actually used to have singing lessons.
I mean...
Yeah.
Go for a posh family. If you like.
Not that posh.
No, I went majorettes and was really awful. I went majorettes, but they were all kind of like crimpling outfits and not nice socks.
Oh, I didn't like
it wasn't. It all made out of paper and mache and stuff. I felt like, so that wasn't very good. But I wanted to do something involved in any of the
performance.
Things. Yeah, but I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, I was kind of the same because I mean, me and my friends, we did.
And here we are now.
Performing.
Yeah.
No, me and my friends, we formed out what we thought was a band when we were 14, and I wrote the songs. I'm not going to tell you the lyrics because they're quite embarrassing.
I love
we
that.
put a demo tape together and we sent it to the Top 40 show on Radio 1.
Oh my God, I love that.
And the presenter was a radio DJ at the time called Tom Brown.
Isn't there a new one called Tom Brown?
There might be now. I think there's a designer now called Tom Brown, isn't there? But yeah, Tom Brown was the...
Oh, that's right.
He presented... Yeah,
I know that.
He presented the Radio 1 Top 40 on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So we were like, if we send it to him, we'll get a hit record.
Yeah, but because that was the logic though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's a bit like, if I write to the Queen, I can go and meet her. You know, if I'm going to get a Blue Peter badge, so I'm going to do a drawing because then I'll get a Blue Peter badge. I actually did get a Blue Peter badge.
So did I?
Oh, high five on that. But you know what upset me about that was I thought it was going to be like the ones the presenters wore, which was like the ship.
Yeah.
And it was just a round little badge.
Yeah, with the ship within it.
Yeah, with competition.
Do you remember which one it was? I remember mine was the Expo 75 competition.
Oh my God, no, I don't know. All I know is I drew a picture of Henry VIII because I was really into history because I was so fascinated by people being killed and loads of people being married and why.
Yeah.
Yes, I like to draw portraits, maybe coming back to the same thing of what I do now. So yeah, I drew a portrait of him.
For the benefit of anyone watching or listening who doesn't know what Blue Peter is, because it's a very British thing, it's a TV show and it still goes on now, doesn't it? Yeah, apparently. And it was for kids, and basically it was just a bit of a... How could you explain Blue Peter?
No, well, they had dogs.
Yeah, they had animals, dogs. Dogs were always on set with them, didn't they?
They had a garden.
They had a garden, so they do a bit of gardening.
Yeah, a little bit of some sciencey thing, a little bit.
They'd help you make presents for your mum and your dad.
Yeah, you always needed a loo roll holder or washing up bottle, which obviously you never had. Yeah. And you'd be like, "Oh, Mum, can I just have that washing up bottle?" And she's like, "No, I haven't finished it." By the time they'd finished it, it was
about being quite resourceful.
Yeah.
But I remember they used to have a thing that always used to make me laugh. So when it was Father's Day, they'd be like, "Right, we're going to help you make a present for your father," and it'd be like all dads and uncles out the room. And then when
I don't remember that.
And then when it was Mother's Day, it'd be like all mums and aunts out the room. That's what they used to say while they showed you how to make a present.
I don't think there's shows like that anymore, is there?
I think it's a little different, but I think...
Are there shows that you... I mean, I love a craft show. So I like any making things shows, like the Bake Off or like Christie's Craft. You know, she does that crafting for Christmas. Anything like that.
Anything where you can make stuff, basically.
But then I need to buy everything, and then if it doesn't go right, I'm thinking, oh, that was crap.
Yeah.
I'm not good at that.
Yeah.
Apart from knitting. I'm really
You're good at knitting?
No, I'm rubbish at knitting. I wouldn't even try that.
Okay. So when did you first decide to actually do makeup then?
Well, my friend at
When
school...
did you go, I'm going to pick up a brush?
Well, I just like models. I just like looking at model pictures, pictures,
in magazines.
Yeah, in magazines, and of like pop stars and everything, because everyone had a look, didn't they? You know, like when we was at school, if you wasn't a modern romantic, you was a mod or a skinhead or a rude boy, or you was something. You
belonged to a little crowd, didn't you?
Yeah, and there was like Boy George, Duran Duran. We'd just come out of the kind of Ziggy Stardust and all of that kind of era. So everyone kind of had a look, and it just interested me. And then I loved looking at magazines, looking at models, I liked what the clothes that they were wearing and stuff like that. So I used to do projects. I found one actually. And when I was 10, and it was on fashion. Right. And it talked about all the different trousers you could wear, and it was like pegs, jeans, or cords,
flares.
Yeah. And
high-waisted, low-waisted.
Yeah, and then I'd done a bit of a project because they used to have it in like Smash Hits and more, I suppose, Just 17, because that was the
were our teen magazines at the time. And
they had in it how much everything cost and where it was from. Basically the same now, but obviously on a high street level. Yeah. And I liked that. And then I suppose that's why I was interested in it. I didn't really understand what went into it at all. But I wanted to be a part of something to do with that. So
what did you do to go and find out how to get into it?
Well, my friend was a hairdresser at school. He was older than me, as my sister's year. He was 4 years older than me. And he, there used to be like hair shows. Where it was like a fashion show. It was touching on that, nearly a fashion show. I mean, now we would think there's nowhere near a fashion show, but at the time that was the nearest thing. It was a competition. Yeah. Everyone would get glammed up. Oh, also, I did work in the hairdressers on the weekend as well.
I've just found that out. She did do a bit of hairdressing.
On the reception, but I was dyslexic, so I couldn't ever spell any words there, so I just scribble it in. It was in Barnet, and it's a funny thing. I've got to tell you this because the funny thing was the name of the salon was Cutting It Fine, and the guy that owned it was called Stephen Fine, which I find really funny.
Cutting It Fine.
So I was always I became a hair model for some people. Yeah, so I'd go to shows. So that was that was starting to get involved in it. He was a hairdresser. He was older than me. He was gay. I mean, which was kind of like wow.
Yeah, at the time.
Well, and fun. So obviously I was friends with him. And he left school.
You're a laugh.
Yeah, you're a laugh. And like, loads of fun things going on, clothes-wise and hair-wise.
Yeah.
So he went to Paris. He had a boyfriend and he moved to Paris and he started doing magazines, and that's what I knew as session work. And so he said to me, why don't you go to college? And there's this college I've found, because I never really got any exams. And he said, why don't you go there and then you can be a makeup artist and we can go on trips together and it'll be fun. And, obviously I just wanted to work for Linda Evangelista and Chris Turlington and Claudia
all the
Schiffer.
top supermodels,
all the supermodels, because that's all I cared about. And they were the best, and I knew that. And so I did it, and I did the course. And then it was really hard. Then I didn't know what I was doing.
Harder than you expected.
Oh, I didn't know what I was doing. There was no internet, so it wasn't like, you had to find out what an agent was.
Yeah.
And the only way you'd find out if you looked at the credits in the magazines, which was like The Face at the time, and
ID.
Yeah,
Blitz.
ID, yeah. And Sky magazine.
And Vogue, of course.
Yeah, but that was kind of, I was more into kind of music-y, fashion-y. Yeah. And so, and then you'd like call them or write them letters and then get an appointment to see them and show them your work. And in the end, one of the girls, it was Camilla Arthur at the time, she said to me, what you need to do is take a photocopy of your best picture and write a letter to everybody that you want to assist. But it was very hard to find out what people's work was like because there was no internet. So you kind of just really had to have seen stuff in a magazine that they'd done, because it's the only way you knew who they were. And I don't know how you would find out.
Gosh, what an interesting process though, where she's like, take a picture.
Yeah.
And send that out
with a letter. With a letter, yeah. And then I did get...
Imagine doing that now.
Oh my God. I mean, I'd be quite impressed if someone done that.
Yeah,
and I probably sent out about 50 letters and like 3 people replied. And I'd done a couple of jobs with them, and that's how it all started, really. And I lived in Paris for 3 months with my friend.
So after you'd done the course, you then went to
Paris. I went straight to Paris. Of course, throwing myself in the deep end because obviously Paris is where fashion is. And that's where I needed to be. I couldn't speak French. I hated it. Me and my friend fell out. Because,
so it went well then.
Yeah, it went well. But I thought, I'm not coming home because I'm not going to be defeated.
Yeah.
So I stuck it out, and and then I came back, and then I done that, and then I really got into doing music. I assisted a few people. And then I just started doing music stuff. I think my first ever job doing makeup, because I do a lot of tests for models and like young actors and actresses that needed like composite cards, which I don't think they have anymore, which are like pictures of you, different pictures of you. So people
just to show what you look like, isn't it? Yeah.
And I used to do them, and they used to pay a little bit of money.
God, we used to have those. Did you used to have one?
Yeah.
I used to have one with Neil Moodie.
Yeah, I did,
and it had like a little...
Yeah, actually, I should look for mine. Yeah.
God, I don't even know if I've got
mine
mine
I think
anymore.
I have got them somewhere.
Mm.
And my first job was for a photo library, and it was just a guy and a girl like sitting there having a drink, you know, like
that.
Yeah, they probably weren't like that. It was more like, you know, didn't know the camera was looking at them. And I remember I got paid £50, and that was like a load of money at the time.
You were like,
and
hallelujah.
I thought I'm going to treat myself to Chinese. Big time.
Big time. Hit the big time.
We'll have a Chinese.
Chicken chow mein.
Yeah, chicken chow mein. Prawn balls.
So you did the 3 months in Paris.
Yeah.
And then you came back. But then eventually you ended up going to live in Paris properly, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, basically, I got an agent eventually.
Remember who was it?
It's my same agent. Oh no, actually, that's a lie. Okay.
Spit it out.
Yeah, I did have an agent. My first agent I never actually got one job. So that was wasted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was that. Then I was with Marina Jones, which doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And that's when I started doing music. And then I moved to Debbie Waters. And Karen, who is still my booker now, and that was over 25 years ago. And she was my booker there. And then she opened her own company. But she turned around and told me that Teddy, sorry, is moving around again. She turned around and told me and just said, right, okay, your career, you've gone as far as you can go here. You need to move country. And I was like, what? She was like, you need to live in Paris. You need to go to Paris now. And I was like, I don't know anyone in Paris and I don't speak French.
She was like, I don't care.
She's like, you need to go. So I started crying. And I was a bit like, she was like, nothing, you're not going to move forward if you don't do this, you know. And I was like, okay, shit. And really looking back, I mean, it was quite brave of me, really.
And a great bit of advice from her, really.
Yeah,
to be a bit like, I think she moved to Paris.
Yeah, she was like, nothing's going to change for you here. You've done what you could have done. You need to move. And I was like, okay. Because back in the day, what used to happen was you lived in London, you've done Paris, and then you went to New York, right? And that's how it went. And that's kind of part
Although I skipped Paris completely. I just went straight to New York.
Yeah. Handy for some people. No, so I was in Paris. I got an apartment. I didn't speak French. Everything was really difficult. I was quite miserable there, to be honest. But I did learn about food and I did learn about wine. A lot of drinking it, actually. But I knew about good wine because, you know, at first I didn't really work that much and it was quite hard.
So you're busy drinking and eating.
Busy drinking. Who knows? Drown my sorrows.
Yeah, so then Earl came to live with you, didn't he?
Yes.
Who's a really good friend of ours, Earl Sims, who's a hairstylist.
So he got the agent that I wanted.
In Paris.
In Paris. And I got another agent, but he never got a job in Paris. But he had a wonderful time.
He had a great agent.
Yeah. And
so he ate lots of food and drank as well. Yeah.
And then obviously I did start working, but there was like loads of things about living in France, like, you know, well, trying to get a taxi and you have a big kit is like a nightmare. Like speaking on the phone in French, obviously I can speak some French. It's not good by any means. I'm much more fluent when I'm drunk. I'm really good.
A bit like my Italian.
Yeah.
Really good after
well, you know, obviously I as well. I'm not like embarrassed about getting it wrong.
Yeah.
But I lived there for 4 years in the end. Yeah. It got better towards the end. Because I could speak more and I knew my way around.
And were you working more by then?
Yeah, I was working more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was, you know, when you work in France, then people used to show up 10, you know, coffee. Yeah, and then we'd like have, you know, lunch, then wine.
Yeah.
You know, and then you sometimes would be there till like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Doing a shoot. It was a very different way of working. And they wanted makeup in Paris, where when I left here, no one wanted makeup. It was all about grunge. And so I learned my skill there really well.
Sort of on the job in a way,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. Yeah, because I had to, come from London. Also, you were kind of a little bit. They quite like the fact you were from London.
Yeah.
So you probably got more chances there.
Mm.
People were not very open in the UK or in London. If you didn't fit into a clique, then you wasn't really doing it.
It's definitely quite cliquey, isn't it?
Yeah.
In a way. But then I think that does actually happen everywhere. But I think you're right. I think Paris is the least.
Do you think? I think New York is the least.
I don't know. It has its moments.
Yeah.
I think. But
I think there's more opportunities in New York.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So
you were in Paris for 4 years.
Yeah.
Can you remember what year it was when you left there? Approximately.
I've been in New York for 14 years.
Right.
Do the math. Because I can't.
Well, that makes that 2005.
Oh.
So, but you didn't. But after Paris, you came back to London for a bit, didn't you? First.
Well, I never really left London.
Right.
Yeah.
So you always had your place here.
Yeah. But yeah, so I never really gave it up. Just people would stay there and stuff like that, and so. Yeah, I always felt like I had a form of security that I could always run back to somewhere that spoke the language that I speak.
Yeah.
And, so, and then I moved to New York, which I thought was going to be very different to what it was when I got there. Because everyone, like you was living there, doing really well. And like people say to me, oh my God, it's like, a car comes and picks you up. And I was thinking, wow, I mean, they don't do that anywhere else.
Yeah, you get craft services at work.
Yeah. Craft services, which means catering, basically. And I was a bit like, oh wow, it sounds amazing. Anyway, I got there and it's a bit like, right,
look,
okay.
Where's the car?
Yeah, where's the car service? Because I thought that's what I was going to get. And I was staying in a really tiny, smallest room in the world where the heating pipe was behind my head when I was sleeping. It was really not nice.
Do you know what? The amount of times I got burns on myself from those pipes in New York.
It was just
literally
like, wake up like a raisin.
Yeah.
And it's like the really smallest little single bed in the world. And I got there, and obviously I didn't get any work. And
was that in Manhattan you were in?
Yeah, in Chelsea. And then I didn't get any work. And what I used to do was go to... And when I realised you had to get to the back of the queue.
Yeah.
It's like, is the ATM, or what do they call it here now?
Cash point?
Cash point.
Yeah.
Get to the back of the queue, babe. You've just come here. Do you think you're going to get all of these things? No way.
Yeah.
You need to earn it. And so then when I realised that, I was like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
Small fish in a big pond. Start again in another country. And then I used to go to every single gym. I used to get a free membership for a week. Trial, and I used to go to every single gym in Manhattan, and I was very healthy, because I had no money. And then I started to work slowly.
But is that around the time you started to assist Dick as well, Dick Page?
Oh no, that was way before. That was even before I moved to Paris. I was assisting Dick.
Right.
Yeah, I assisted him for the shows. I assisted quite a lot of people. I assisted Kevin. I assisted Pat.
Kevin O'Quan.
Yes, Kevin O'Quan,
Pat McGrath.
and Pat and Dick were like the nicest people and the most fun to work for. And I just Dick just asked me to be his first, and so I done probably about 5 seasons, which is 2.5 years. First of all, I took myself around the world to do the shows, and I'm probably just break even. Like, it wouldn't cost me anything, but I didn't make any money. But it was just something I had to do. Do you know what I mean? And then I got on a team, and then Dick asked me to be his first, and then and then after that, that was when Karen was like, okay, you need to do this on your own, and you need to move to Paris.
Oh right, okay. So that was just before you went to Paris then.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't sure whether you went to work for Dick when you moved to New York.
No, it was it was way before.
Yeah. Because Dick was in New York for years by that point, wasn't he, already?
Yeah. I mean, he was a really good mentor. Number one, because he was funny.
Yeah.
And he's a great makeup artist.
Yeah.
And he was, and he didn't really have much makeup, but whatever he carried with him, he could do anything. And I wish I could be like that. I'm just not.
Quite resourceful.
Yeah, I
isn't
like
he?
that. I liked that.
Yeah.
And he changed things up for me. He's like, you don't just need to do what it says it will do, or use it where you think you should use it, or you can make your own colours and stuff like that. So that really kind of made me start thinking, because I was never really conventional anyway. If someone said to me, you can only do this, then I think, well, I want to do that.
Yeah.
So that really gelled with me.
Yeah.
That did.
Dick made you go, actually, you can do that.
Yeah. And
break the rules.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And Pat was kind of doing that as well at the same time. And and Kevin, I didn't assist for long. He was very different, because I thought he was going to do that raw sculpture makeup, which kind of is what the YouTube people are doing these days. But he never wanted to do that when I worked for him. He wanted to do like Pat and Dit's makeup, which really wasn't his style. So it was a bit like, oh, okay. Yeah, it was different.
Because he was more 80s, wasn't he,
Yeah.
Kevin? He was that was his...
He was
his
amazing.
golden period,
Yeah.
wasn't it? And then obviously Pat McGrath and Dick Page, they started in the 90s, and they were like these 90s
icons. Well,
icons
you're
coming
like,
through.
you know, just like a whole different way of doing makeup.
So what would you say was your first big break, when, in terms of like what you felt was like, my career's going to another level?
Well, I thought it was going to be when I done the Prada campaign. I done a Prada campaign.
Who was that with?
It was
just
with...
adjust your hair.
Yeah,
a bit.
just
She's trying to put her hair behind her ears.
Yeah.
Not behind your ears, behind your shoulders.
Yeah,
sorry.
I mean, I've got really big ears.
Massive ears.
Yeah. I Prada campaign. It was with Cedric Boucher. We went to Spain. The shot on the beach, and then they decided that the weather was too unreliable, and then we should move to a studio, and they made a beach in the studio. But we ended up being there for a month. And we had to have all our clothes flown out, because we was only supposed to be there for 2 weeks. But it was before the internet, and they had to scan pictures and then send them over there. I don't really quite know how they'd done that then. But then we had to wait for Mucha Prada to say if she liked it or she didn't like it. She might not like it, and then we'd have to shoot it in another scenario. So, yeah, I mean, that's...
Do you know what? I was lucky, because my first campaign was Miu Miu.
Oh, right.
Mucha actually came to the shoot.
Oh, well, much better.
Because I heard that things had to be sent to her.
Yeah.
But we used to think, how do they send stuff?
I can't remember now. Maybe FedEx.
Or fax it? I don't know.
Yeah, it wouldn't be very good
It wouldn't
quality.
be good quality, would it? But anyway, yeah. But no, I heard that happened a lot with the Prada shoots. That things would... A shot would have to be sent to her.
Yeah.
For her to approve it before we could move on to the next.
Yeah. I mean, we had created a volleyball team in that whole time. I mean, it's great. I mean, I loved that.
Yeah.
While we was waiting. Yeah, I thought that was going to change my world. It actually didn't.
Do you remember what year that was?
No.
No.
It was before I moved to Paris.
So you felt that had no impact
Well,
on your
not
career,
the impact
really?
that I wanted.
Right.
I wanted it to
What
be...
were you expecting?
Oh, like that I would go be starting to do Vogue. I was going to, I thought, well, that was it.
Yeah.
I've made it.
Reach for the stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's two people that really changed my career, and that was a photographer called Camilla Akrans, who I still work with. And I knew when I started working with her that I'd met someone that I really gelled with, and she done beautiful pictures. It took me to a whole different level, and she was going up quickly, and she took me with her. And it's the loyalest person photographer I've ever worked with. And then it would be Burberry, Elliot Smedley, a friend of ours who's a stylist who became creative consultant for them, got me involved, and
From when Christopher
Bailey
there.
was there, yeah, and that carried on for 16 years, and so that was massive as well. Them two things really changed my career.
Yeah, because I guess Camilla was having a moment, wasn't she, with
Yeah.
her photography when she first started. She sort of came in with quite a big bang.
Yeah.
And I guess you were there, weren't you, when
Yeah.
the bang happened? And so
Yeah.
as she flew,
Of course, it
so
wasn't
did
my
you.
bang.
No.
I was just part of it. But when she moved to New York, that's when we started working together, and I done her first numero shoot with her, and then it just took off, and then we started doing a Harper's Bazaar, and she was, you know, at first they wouldn't let her take her team, but then as soon as they did, she brought me in. That was great for me.
That's what happened with me with Corinne, really.
Yeah.
Corinne Day, you know, she literally was like, I want to work with you, and then she'd say to every job she got, she'd say, I want Neil Moodie.
Yeah.
And I think that's how, especially back then, careers would be made for hair and makeup people.
It was teams.
So you mentioned, Wendy, obviously Burberry, which I think, as your friend, was a massive thing for you.
Yeah.
In the end, because of how you became so involved within the company.
Yeah.
You know, as he started doing, he's
just relaxing.
He's ready to have a little tummy rub there, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like that. Oh. But yeah, so obviously you started doing the show. Elliot brought you in for the show in the beginning when Christopher Bailey first started.
Yeah.
And that was when the show was in Milan, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And obviously, as Christopher grew, so did you guys, because you stayed there actually doing the show until the day Christopher left.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But what's kind of interesting, I think, for your career too, was that Christopher decided to bring you in as a consultant for the makeup and skin line.
Yeah.
Right? Which was known as Burberry Beauty.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you feel that was a big turning point for you?
Oh, yeah, massively. I mean, I remember there was other people up, even though I'd been doing the shows and for like I don't know how many years, because I can't remember how many years.
Because you didn't always work on the campaigns, did you?
No, I didn't always work on the campaigns.
No.
But I always done the shows, and basically what happened was they were going to create a makeup line, and I was one of maybe about 4 people that were up for it, so I wasn't necessarily going to get it.
It wasn't a given.
Yeah. And when I got it, I did cry. That was a happy cry. That wasn't like going to Burberry's cry. It was a happy cry. It was amazing. It really kind of made me branch out into loads of different avenues, which I didn't really know existed. Yeah, I mean,
because you basically consulted on the brand, didn't you, right from the onset?
Yeah.
And you know, I know that you helped with sort of creating some of the formulas, weren't you?
Yeah.
With some of the products, and actually ended up working on some of what's now become their most iconic products, actually, within the line, right?
Yeah. So some of the products, you know, what I wanted to create, they hadn't created for Burberry, and as a makeup artist, I knew what I needed. Yeah. So I used to mix suntan lotion in with foundation, and because it had zinc in it, it kind of reflected, and it will give you this like gorgeous glowy skin, but you couldn't see it because it wasn't pearls or glitter. And so what I wanted to do for Burberry was create that in, you know, like you could just put that on.
So you didn't have to mix stuff.
Yeah. And so I created this fresh glow. It was quite a battle because it wasn't on the market and there was nothing on the market to convince them that this is the future. And I done it in bearing in mind that, you know, the world is not white, and I need to create a product that will work on every skin tone. And if it would looked white, it didn't look ashy on dark skin. Right. So that's what I'd done. So, and that was my kind of plight for the whole brand, that we have to do things that will work on different skin tones. So if I'd done a collection for summer, I would do a lighter tone for lighter skins and one for darker skins. So I've done a lot of things like that. Were quite innovative, actually. I don't know if everyone saw that, but Fresh Glow became a iconic product and won awards. And then I'd done the contour stick, which I actually wanted to be called the sculpture pen. Because it was
just saying.
Yeah, just saying. Because it was about sculpting your face, and I'd done that for years.
But not in a sort of Kardashian-y way,
it's not.
was it?
It wasn't heavy.
Yeah.
It wasn't heavy. It was
because we don't like that, do we?
No, because it's all underneath. It's undetectable. Yeah. So
it's like very subtle contouring, isn't it?
And so I developed that, and that was hard as well because they didn't believe in it because no one had that. And every time I developed it, it wouldn't wasn't okay for America, and then we got it okay for America, and then it wasn't okay for China, and so it took like 5 years in the making, because every time I got it to a texture I wanted it wasn't okay for a certain region. And I mean, Cara Delevingne and people like that would be like, can you just give me this pen? Can you just give me it? And I was like, it's not ready yet. You can't really get it. And in the end, I ended up giving her one. But, you know, it was just because the formulas weren't right for all the countries. Yeah, but I was proud of that. And I use that all the time still.
Yeah. Because we, obviously, you and I worked a lot with Burberry, didn't we? Because you and Elliot Smedley, our friend, brought me in, or more Elliot probably in a way, but you encouraged it. No, you encouraged it for sure. Brought me in to start working on the show, which was amazing. And I did, I think 3 years of doing the show.
Yeah, I think you had more.
Might have been longer, because I did carry on doing some of the men's shows, but like the women for the men's shows.
Oh, right, okay.
And actually we had some really fun times, didn't we, doing Burberry, because we went to China.
Oh God, that was
twice.
Yeah.
We went to Beijing and did the show there.
Yeah, we did. They were the most amazing shows for me, actually.
Yeah, and we went to Shanghai and did another one, didn't we? The one in Beijing was amazing. Do you remember? Because that was the one where they, for the first time ever, they used holograms of models mixed in with human models,
which is quite complicated.
Oh my God, do you remember?
Yeah, like, I mean, I wouldn't want to have been the person that go walk now, because if they weren't exactly where they needed to be, they would. The timings would be out, and they clash into holograms, which they couldn't see. Yeah. That was amazing. But then I did like the other one in Shanghai, because it was a massive dance routine, which I loved. Yeah,
which was amazing. Was it 80 dancers?
Yeah.
They had 80 dancers.
Which I love.
We had a show with 45 models in.
Yeah.
We had George Ezra, Paloma Faith, Ed Hardcastle all performing. Yeah. Luckily we weren't doing...
We weren't singing.
Although we gave it our best shot. Although
I went on the Travelator.
Ed Hardcastle, Paloma and George didn't have his own person, did he, George Ezra? But cause I remember he came in and asked to borrow my wax. And
because he's the nicest person in show business, George Ezra. Yeah.
And I remember thinking, he's going to do well.
Yeah, he's lovely.
I was right.
Yeah. He just won a Brit, no?
Yeah, just won a Brit Award. Yeah, bless him. But so we did that, and then also we did some shoots together, because we did the first Burberry beauty shoot together with Cara.
Oh yeah, who shot that?
Ben Hassett.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and that was Cara's first sort of beauty shoot, wasn't it, that she'd ever done? So I wanted to just recollect, because I was trying to remember the first time we actually worked together, and I believe it was the Burberry shoot in Spain.
Do you think that was the first time we worked together? Maybe we just knew each other before.
I think we knew each other, but we weren't really... And we kept saying, we need to work together, we need to work together. Yeah. And then Corinne got booked to do Burberry. It was a line... and we went to Spain to do it. And obviously, my friend, who's now your friend too, Carl Pluka, was styling it, Corinne. And I just remember, because you were the outsider of the team, weren't you? Yeah. And just actually going to Spain, and we went to Barcelona.
But can I just tell you something about that?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I don't even know if you know this. When I got there, no makeup turned up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I had to go and buy makeup.
No.
Oh, yeah, and I was thinking, oh, God, because it's really expensive.
What am I going to do?
Yeah, and then I was thinking, she doesn't use that much makeup. Or does she? Because you never know what it seems like.
Well, you hadn't worked with Corinne before,
had
you?
I was a bit like, oh no!
Yeah.
I haven't got any makeup. They've lost my
didn't know that.
Completely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to fudge it.
And this was before Burberry Beauty existed, wasn't it?
Yeah,
so you were just using whatever you needed to use.
Yeah.
God, I never knew that.
Yeah.
But I remember, because we were talking
I was so nervous. Do you know what I mean? I was so nervous for I'm just going to have to wing this.
Well, we were talking about this shoot, weren't we, recently?
And I was quite scared of Carl.
You felt like the real outsider.
Yeah, I was.
Even though you were the only person that had worked for Burberry before.
Yeah, because there was no one from Burberry there, was there?
No.
And I was quite scared of Carl. Who's a friend of mine now, but he's
quite scary when you meet Carl, because he's quite forthright.
Yeah, and he's a very good talker.
Good with words.
Yeah, good with words, and so I was a bit scared of him. And of course, obviously, Colin was a big photographer, you know, and you want it to be good. Yeah. You really want it to be good, and you don't know. you don't want to do anything wrong.
Yeah.
But you probably always are going to do something. Do you know what I mean? Because you can't mind read. But then I said, you was the only person that actually I felt aligned with, because I'd be like, what does she want? Doesn't anyone tell me, because I'm not a mind reader. And he was like, no, when she says that, she means this. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when she wants that, she actually means this.
Yeah.
And don't do this, don't do... Yeah, I remember. We sort of like... And actually, that was really when we bonded, wasn't it? And became sort of more friends then, because you were like, thank fuck, Neil. Yeah, I'm a bit of an ally with you in the end. Yeah. And the thing is, I know what that's like, because...
I mean, okay, can we just talk about something?
Go on.
It's to do with Glow Up, right, the TV programme.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And the one thing I want to say, because you was really kind and you helped me, and I just noticed, I know it's a competition at Glow Up, but I did notice that the other night, one of the guys kind of lost it a bit and was out of his depth, and only one person went to help him, and I thought that one person would probably be the best makeup artist, because he was very kind. And he just tried to help him, because you know what else happens is when you go to work, you end up having to be in a team, and it's like, you know what? It's like if you're in a team and someone's not making it over the finish line, the best thing you can do is go back and pick them up and bring them with you. Yeah. Because as a team, you win. Yeah. If you just want to go solo, then don't worry about it. But that's what I thought about him, and I just wanted to bring that up because no one really mentioned that in the program, or maybe it was just cut. I don't know, because people edit stuff. But I just thought he will go far. Yeah, you're right, because I watched that episode. Yeah, and he actually went out and checked that he was okay. Yeah, and I just thought, because he had a complete meltdown. Yeah, I know. I mean, I couldn't laugh really, but listen, we've had loads of them. Oh, so it's God. We haven't got enough time to talk about our meltdowns. Yeah. But you know what's interesting, Wendy? I think, knowing you again as a friend, that what you did with Burberry with the makeup is actually, it opened your eyes to become much more entrepreneurial as a person. Yeah. And I think you were always definitely because of, I always think the circumstances of going to Paris, going to New York, it makes you a bit more sort of resourceful and kind of go, I could do that, I want to do that, because you've done so many things that a lot of people just wouldn't have the nerve to do. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I didn't think about them a great deal, I just done them. Yeah. I think if I had, I wouldn't have done them. I just kind of threw myself in the deep end. Yeah. But now, let's talk about Wendy Rowe, the brand, which is now, it's become something else, hasn't it? Yeah. I mean, I remember when you were telling me that you'd got the Burberry thing with the makeup, with the Burberry Beauty, that you weren't going to be exclusive to them. Yeah. And actually, that was quite a big thing, wasn't it? Because it allowed you to then go and do other things with the people, because normally, I mean, I've been signed to brands, and you're not allowed to work for anyone else. You're not allowed to talk about anything else. Yeah, I mean, but the thing was, I had a blog, and it was really important for me to be authentic, and it was really important for me to be able to talk about other things, because otherwise it would have just been a Burberry channel. Yeah. Which I was doing, so that's not going to work. And so I just wanted to be across the board. So it was kind of as much as what they wanted to do, as much as what I wanted to do. We came to an agreement that I wouldn't work for luxury brands, but I could still talk about them. Do you know what I mean? Because it's otherwise it becomes unrealistic. It's not honest, and who's going to believe me? So so that worked out to be a good thing for me. Yeah, because then you went on. Obviously, you'd started your website and your blog, hadn't you? Yeah. Which has now become quite a big thing, isn't it? Yeah. Really? People come to you as an authority of makeup, and somebody that they will listen to for ideas and inspirations. And or just stuff that's going on, which you wouldn't necessarily, you probably find out from magazines, but I can do it quite instantly. I travel a lot, so I know a lot of things. People come to me with stuff, and then I talk about it. It's because I don't no one advertise on it. I can do exactly what I want, because it's my voice. So yeah, I can just say or talk about who I want when I want, and it can be quite quick, and like
it's quite spontaneous.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I think, oh God, this is happening. Oh, let's do that. Or this is happening in New York. Or I love this workout. And I like to break things down for people. What does that actually mean? What does needling mean? Let's just talk about that. Stuff like that. I just want to make it really basic, because sometimes when I find when people write about beauty, it becomes a bit complicated and you get lost, and all of the ingredients and stuff, you get lost. Just basically, what shouldn't I look for? Yeah, that's it. Give me 5 things. Make it simple. Once you've got your head around that, you can move on a bit.
Yeah. Even though the ingredients are really important, because now these days some people don't want this on their skin, or they don't want that in their hair, and or they're allergic to this and whatever. But I think you're right. I think generally people just want to know, what does this actually do? And how do I do it?
Or do I need it?
And do I need it? Yeah.
Is it an option?
I mean, do I need needling now you've mentioned it?
No. Well, I mean, the thing is, it's like, yeah, you could have it done. It would make your skin a bit better, but it's not dramatic.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not going to resurface your skin.
Right. I'm not going to suddenly look like the picture 10. On there, like I'm 6 again.
You want to look like a better you.
Yeah, always. But you ended up doing a lipstick range, didn't you, for La Bouche Rouge?
Yeah.
Which is like an eco-friendly line of lipsticks, right?
So,
this was on the separately to Burberry, but running alongside.
Yeah, because obviously I care loads about what I put inside. But listen, hey, I do drink and stuff like that, right? So and I do eat chocolate, and I'm not like
you're not an angel.
Yeah, no, I'm not an angel. I like gorgeous food. I like gorgeous things. I like gorgeous outfit. I like things. If I'm gonna have something, it needs to be worth it.
Yeah.
So, with the La Rouge Bouge, it's like there's a whole thing about La Bouge. Well, I'm dyslexic, right? I do this all the time, and there's not.
I like the way you said La Rouge Bouge.
La Rouge Bouge.
La Rouge Bourgeois.
La Bouge Rouge. I mean, so if you give me an option, I'm going to get it around the wrong way.
Yeah.
And or we'd say red lips, but they say lips red.
Yeah.
You see, so hey. That's the French coming out. I was introduced to Sky Nicholas through Ezra and Lana at Self Service, and they're good friends of mine. And they said, "Are you interested in doing 6 lipsticks or doing a range for us?" And I was like, "Well, what's it about?" And they were like, "Well, we're doing the packaging. It's all eco-friendly. It's paper packaging. It's a refillable, gorgeous leather lipstick, metal and leather, which is refillable with these bullets. And would you be interested in doing it?" And I said, "Okay, let me speak to the guy." And it was a really small company, and they kind of eradicated most of the plastics out of the lipstick. 6 different lipsticks for every skin tone. They're all different textures. So there's something that will suit anybody.
Right.
Because I think about everybody.
Yeah.
It's
not
just about. It's not just about me. A lot of the time it is. But obviously, if I'm producing something, I need it to be available for everybody.
Yeah,
that's important.
And is that still ongoing, or was it?
Yeah, it's still ongoing.
Oh, it's still ongoing. Okay.
Yeah, it's still ongoing. Yeah.
And then what about do you remember you did a juice?
Oh yeah.
With roots and bulbs.
Yeah, right? I don't know. Yeah, because obviously. Every time I do interviews, people say to me, "What's your morning routine?" And I was like, "I do have a juice and da."
You love a juice.
Yeah, I love a juice. Yeah. So,
that's like a cold press juice.
Yeah, it was a cold press, and so this company got in touch with me and said, "Would you like to produce your own juice?" And I was like, "Well, yeah." And they said, "Well, what would your idea be?" And I was like, "Well, it needs to be good for the skin." So, and things like aloe vera, fresh aloe vera, is really hard to put into a juice, even when you're doing it yourself. So I done one, it was called Pure Skin. and and it sold Roots and Bowls for a year.
Which was a juice.
It's a
shop
juice,
in London,
cold juice bar. And all organic, and of course I like things like that.
Yeah, I mean I loved it.
I mean I loved it.
I had quite a few of them.
Yeah.
And I bought them. I wasn't given them.
But I did give you some.
You did give me some, but I did go and buy.
Yeah,
support,
I know. That's
support your mates.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah, and it was great. But what made you want to do that? What was your thing going? Yeah, I do want to do this juice.
Because I wanted it.
Right.
So yeah, I do produce other things like makeup for other people, but I really wanted this. And you know what? It was a bit like it's an alternative to look after your skin, ingesting something which is nice.
Yeah.
And it was nice.
No, it was nice. Would you do it again with the juice?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah.
Because obviously, moving on, in June 2016, you then launched your book, Eat Beautiful.
Yeah.
Which, as we know, has been quite successful.
Yeah. Yay! Finally!
I mean, I just have to tell everybody that's watching and listening, I went to Wendy's house quite a lot and tried a lot of the recipes before the book came out, because as a bit like some of our other friends, we were, for want of a better word, the guinea pigs of trying stuff and seeing what we thought, right? So
yeah, and if anyone had a bad comment, I'd be like, do you know how many things I've put?
I must admit, because I remember you being like, you've got to be really honest, but then you'd be like,
oh, for God's sake, you know what I mean? I'm not ashamed.
Oh, now I've got to start again.
Yeah, I'd be like,
But I do think it was our duty to let you know.
No, I know.
I have to say, I'd say 99% of everything I tried was delish.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. And then I think there was one cake that actually didn't quite work, but that was because you said you'd left it in the oven a bit too long.
Oh, no, that's my orange cake. I tried to do it with brown sugar.
That's right.
Yeah, because I was trying to make it healthy and it just doesn't work. You just can't.
Yeah. So, because the book's been a bestseller now, isn't it? And it's gone on to be produced in other languages, which is a sign of it being successful, which is great.
And people still post it all the time on Instagram.
And you've also, obviously, it's been out in Poland for a year. Yeah. What other countries is it due to come out in?
Russia. And that's been taking quite a while, but that's going to happen. There was talk about Japan. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it for now. I mean, obviously, because a lot of people are English speaking, like Australia, it's obviously been published in the States. Changed the measurements for cooking for the States. Yeah, so it's been published in the States, and it sells in Australia, New Zealand, all them kind of countries. Yeah,
that's great though. Has it done better than you expected as a book?
No.
No, listen, I know you wanted.
Because I thought it was, I wanted to sell millions. Right. I mean, listen, if you've ever done a book, you will know that it's never what you expect it to be. No. You know, I thought I could be like the Harry Potter. No, I thought I was, and also when you do a book, you put everything into it. Do you know what I mean? You put like your heart and soul into it. And and then you put it out there for people to criticise, which is like quite horrible, really.
Well, the minute
but then you put yourself out there. It's like anything. You're famous. You put yourself out there. Someone's going to say something.
Yeah, you're open to scrutiny, aren't you, basically? But no, I mean, do you know what? One of the things I love about you, even as a person and as a friend, though, is that when you do stuff, you do it with so much belief. Yeah. And actually, not many people have that, Wendy. Because a lot of people, I get a bit sort of...
I don't know if it's belief or disillusion. Or just like just really like not knowing.
Well, it's not knowing, but I think you believe, you do have an inner belief in the things that you do. Yeah. And not everyone does that. I mean, I'm all doubting Thomas.
I care so much. Yeah. Even when I'm making products and stuff, I get so angry. Yeah. I get really passionate. It needs to be like this. And I think, just let it go. Yeah. Because, it's not the end of the world, but of course it is for me at the time. Because the book is a cookbook, but ultimately it was about having beautiful skin and what you do to have beautiful skin. So what certain foods do for you. You should eat in the season. I learnt that from being in Paris.
Yeah, because you've mentioned that before when we talked about it, haven't you? That actually living in Paris taught you a lot about food and nutrition.
Yeah, I mean, in Paris, if it wasn't in season, you couldn't buy it, and the food and the vegetables didn't look nice, and they tasted great. And so I understood. That's when I started to understand that. And I lived in North Africa for a year.
Oh, here we go. Another thing she's done that we didn't know about.
Yeah, and
where was that? Where did you fit that in?
Yeah. Well, when I was doing graphics, I took a year out and I became a hotel entertainer.
See, another job. I didn't know about the hotel entertainer. You have told me. I didn't realise it was in Africa, though.
No, it was North Africa.
North Africa.
Yeah, and the thing was there, if you bought a chicken, it was hot because they just killed it and it was plucked and you had to take everything out and you know. So I learned. I remember I'd done cooking at school, home economics. It was called. And then I learned. I just made up how to make a basic white sauce, how to do this. You know, so I learned like that. And obviously, when I was in Paris, it was not as hardcore. But it was a similar thing. So if I want to eat what I want to eat, then I need to cook it. Yeah. And so that was what I learnt there. Yeah. So what was my point, caller? Anyway, the book is about having great skin. It talks about different skin problems. Just really basically telling you why you get them and what you should do. So how long did it take you to put this book together, Wendy? What's the time? Well, it took about 4 months. I mean, they made me do it really quickly, my portion of it. That's really quick. Yeah, it was really quick. Well, actually, I'd done all the recipes in a month. God, was I coming round your house for a month? Yeah. I mean, my fingers were like a mess, and I was doing it after I'd come home from work. Once I'd kind of got that together, then I had to work out, it was complicated because I'd cook stuff in New York and then I cooked stuff in England. I had a fan oven in England. I had a normal oven in New York. Didn't think about that. On top of that. Yeah. And then, so when I started... Not being a chef. No, not being a chef. Yeah. And the best thing I liked doing was the photographs. I loved doing that. Well, we love a picture, don't we? Yeah, we love a picture. Even the food things, I just love. Yeah. I had an amazing photographer, David Loftus, do that, who works for Jamie Oliver. Yeah. Hashtag just saying. Just saying. And then Camilla done my beauty for me, and we've done loads of shots in the day, but that was just like manic and fun and great. Yeah. And it was the editing that took a long time. And the cover was a big fight. And that took forever because I didn't want food on it because it wasn't about food, it was about the skin. Yeah. And so, all in all, with all the to and fro, 4 months. But I would say that I was really out for 2 months of doing any other work. Yeah. But do you think that's a long time to come out of that business. Do you know? No, it is. But do you think there's room for another book? Oh yeah, totally. Do you feel like you could, but do you feel like you would continue what you've already done, or would you go off on another? Or would you do both? Well, room for 2 books. Yeah, I mean, I could do a sequel to that. I could do kind of a similar thing to that for sure. Eat more beautiful. Eat more beautiful. Be more beautiful. The beautiful you. I could do that. I could actually do a continuation, but then also I'd split them into 2. Yeah. I'd do one big book and then I'd do one pocket book or 2 pocket book. And then also I wanted to do a thing on just things that make you feel great, and why you should do them. And there's lots of things that happen in people's lives where they don't have such a good time, and these are ways to get out of it and feel better. Yeah. Because I always think it's about being kind and feeling better. So from the book, you then ended up going on to This Morning, the UK TV morning show, right? Which was, obviously, I know you first went on about the book, didn't you? But then that actually led into you doing some makeup slots. Yeah. Which was, again, another little branch off you. Because, what was funny about the whole YouTube thing or the whole tutorial thing never existed when we started, because it's a whole different thing.
Because once you did This Morning, I felt that then led you into starting your YouTube channel, didn't it?
Oh, do you think?
Yeah, because it seemed to follow on quite quickly from that.
I mean, I suppose just things. You can have an idea of how you want your life path to be, and things take you off on different tangents. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I wanted to do fashion, but when I first started, I was pulled into music. So, and
you just ran with that.
Yeah, you just kind of go, and then things spark off other things. So, yeah, maybe it wasn't a conscious decision, but maybe that happened because of that.
It probably, I think it's
and maybe my assistant pushing me to do that.
Well, yeah. Probably.
Because I wouldn't have done it otherwise.
Yeah. But the great thing is, again, with your YouTube, is that it's a little different to other people's, because you don't just do makeup tutorials.
Yeah.
You interview people, you bring people in, you talk about other stuff. Obviously, some of it is makeup-led and beauty-led. Yeah. But then some of it isn't. And I think that gives it another sort of aspect of a YouTube channel that's not just tutorial.
Yeah, and I just think it's fun, like when you came in and you showed me what was in your bag, and I love them green glasses. I never use them green glasses. I
do use them, yes. Probably not as much as I should do, but
Another gadget.
Sometimes I just forget that they're there.
Yeah.
Because I'm so tired, I just think, I'll go to sleep anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think you actually need them.
Glasses. These is glasses, by the way, that I bought that apparently help me with jet lag. So, which Wendy was obsessed with, because they look good on the face.
Yeah, which you can look if you look at my YouTube channel.
Yeah. Wendy Rowe, YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So, now, obviously, Christopher Bailey left Burberry last year.
Yeah.
Which organically led to you finishing with Burberry as well, didn't it? But then you very quickly signed to Max Factor.
I mean, the universe works in funny ways.
It sure does.
I've been working with Max Factor on their campaigns, on and off for quite a few years.
Well, we did a couple of them, didn't we? I did a couple of them. Yeah.
And, and, so they'd always talk to me about doing it, but they had someone else signed, and there was always the Burberry thing. Everyone was kind of quite scared, I think, in a way. Listen, I was with Burberry for 16 years, and nothing lasts forever. No. Do you know what I mean? So, Christopher moved on. It was probably about the same time that I should be moving on too. Do you know what I mean? So it kind of just, they kind of crossed. I was very lucky. I will say, guys, that was a very lucky thing.
But what's your position at Max Factor?
I mean, they all take the piss out of me about it. One time I said, global creative, international. And actually, I'm the creative director, international and global makeup artist. So actually, it's all of that. But I've got to figure out how it all got together.
Yeah, your dyslexia doesn't let you to put it in the right order.
I was just like a major.
Yeah.
Which basically...
Pretty big at Max Factor.
But basically it allows me... They're really great people. They're very open. I'm product developing with them. We're doing all the imagery, which I'm super excited about. I'm very happy with. We are taking the brand back to its heritage. Max is back.
Was he a real person?
Yeah, he's a real person. His story is amazing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Max Factor. He was amazing. He's done all the films. He created all of these things. I mean, reading his book, he escaped from Russia. I mean, it's
fascinating.
And he's like kids, and they walked across this snowy mountain. I was a bit like, oh my god, I've only come from Essex. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. He's walked mountains.
Yeah, he was amazing.
Crossed rivers.
Yeah, he was amazing. And so we're going to go back to the heritage because it was Hollywood. So I'm making makeup, affordable makeup for you to be the makeup artist at home. You to be your own makeup artist.
Right.
Stuff that was achievable. Just really great products for affordable prices. So I'm really excited about that. Stuff starts to come out in I think November. Right, the first stuff that you've
I've done.
Really and we've got a new face. And
You're allowed to say who that is?
I'm not allowed to say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Embargo.
Yeah, embargo.
What's next for Wendy Rowe then?
Well,
the journey's ongoing.
Yeah, I
isn't
know.
it?
You know what? I thought about that the other day, and I thought, what is it I really want? You know what? I'd love to consult on a film. You've done that, haven't you?
Not on a feature, on a short. I was recently I was asked to consult on a feature, and then I couldn't actually go for the testing days, so it never happened. Yeah.
Oh, I'd like to do a feature.
But what, something with quite full on makeup?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think probably for me, it would probably, I like a costume drama. So Marie Antoinette would have been my ideal feature.
Yeah.
I love that.
Like, let's hope there's a sequel.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Marie Antoinette too.
Actually, you know what? I've just remembered, Wend.
Yeah.
I did design Cara Delevingne's hair for Valerian.
Oh, see? I knew you'd done something.
I knew it. Yeah. And we sorted out the colour, and we did all her colour, and then they had to, I wasn't on the set, but she'd grown her hair really long, so we cut it much shorter.
Yeah.
We got the colour done. We had to keep sending stuff to France to Luc Besson until he was happy with it. And then the people on the film actually then, for continuity, just copied everything that I did.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Didn't get a credit on the thing, but it's fine.
I heard it here first.
It's fine, I can live with that. I was watching the credits at the end going, where am I?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I'm not on there.
I would have done that.
Yeah, but it's fine. It's all right, Luke, I'll let you off.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to consult to like a health, like a spa hotel.
Something a bit holistic.
Yeah, you know, I like all things like that, like design a program and get the best people around the world. Something like that. I love that.
Jesus.
You know what I thought I'd like to do?
What?
I'd like radio, because you don't have to get ready. And I love a chat. So, yeah, I'd like to do radio, because I think that would be quite fun. But I suppose I'd like to do TV, but I just don't want it to be too staged. It might be a documentary.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
Because otherwise I go, oh, can we do that again? I think, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
It more has to be a documentary style-y.
Yeah. So something more sort of like following you around doing something.
Yeah, or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Just putting it out there and you're listening.
Yeah.
So, Wen, I've got a couple of questions for you in terms of actual beauty.
Yeah.
Which I think people will want to know. What do you consider beauty as in today? What is beauty right now?
For me, well, beauty, you need to look like you, like individuality. It's really important, I think, for me. When we was growing up, I was saying to you earlier, there was no internet. And you couldn't see what was happening, what was trending in New York or Paris or whatever.
No idea, right?
No idea. Because everyone was doing their own thing. So everyone's really looked quite individual. You know, and then if someone went to New York and they brought back these things, like, wow, it's like a whole new trend. And someone would tip it off and it would, or an editor from a magazine might like start to bring it in to mix in with our stuff. So I love individuality. I think that's beautiful. I think just just like honouring who you are. That's really important for me. I like people with different faces. When everyone starts to look the same, I just feel like there's a personality that I don't remember them.
No.
And and I just feel like I like someone that's like, they don't have to be outrageous, but I just like characterful. I think the French get that very right. Yeah. For me. Yeah. French women. I mean, I do very well in France. It's one of my best markets.
Yeah. I think it's nice I like it when people kind of go, I'm going to wear this lipstick, or I'm going to do my hair like this. Yeah. And they actually don't care whether it's a trend or whether it's not. Because to me, that is where beauty's at right now. Especially as it's now opened up, as in, there's now so many different cultures. Yeah. That have been
we know what's going on in Korea.
Yeah.
Here, and I suppose people travel so much more than they did.
Yeah.
But it is the internet. It has opened up.
Oh, God, yeah.
So people always go to me, so what should I buy in New York? And I think, It's the same shit here as they got there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You're just paying it in dollars.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can't get.
I think those days have gone, haven't they?
Yeah.
I remember going to New York and being like, I've got to get a pair of trainers here because I know nobody in London
which
will
was
have them.
amazing. Yeah, which I love.
And I'd come back and people would be like, where are those trainers?
Yeah, New York.
Like, New York, you can't get them.
Yeah,
Like,
I
really.
love that. Yeah.
Now it's a bit like...
We just order on the internet.
Well, yeah. But what it's funny, because that actually leads me to talking about social media and the internet and everything. How do you think people and brands now resonate within today's sort of crowded market of, products and everything that's available? Because obviously I think social media has opened up a lot of things, hasn't it? A lot of ways to communicate. Yeah.
I think what social media does, it enables people to see things immediately.
Yeah.
It teaches you, it shows you how to do it. Where before it would be a stand, you'd have to talk to someone, you'd have to go there. But you can sit at home and suddenly be looking on Instagram and something will come up from maybe a brand that you like, or you haven't even bought anything from, but you don't mind them. It doesn't cost you anything to follow them, does it?
No.
You didn't buy a magazine to look at that advert.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you can, and it opens up their world to you quite easily for nothing.
Yeah.
So, you're more interested.
Yeah.
And then if you could just buy it, it's very easy and, it's a lazy way of shopping.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not very good because I always get stuff wrong when I'm ordering things. I ordered cat food when it's supposed to be dog food. So I don't really read it properly. So I do like to see things, but I think if it's not that expensive and you can see what it does, you probably go for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think it's consumer friendly,
Yeah.
and that's what it is at the moment, and it's very image driven.
Yeah. Because there is a negative side to social media and stuff, isn't there? As we know, there's people get trolled, people, things come out that shouldn't be out.
You see, if anyone trolled me, just say no, I'll block you and delete you. So that's it.
I do the same.
Yeah, I'm like, laters. Why have you got time to write a negative comment? That's bad energy.
Yeah.
So if you're just doing that, you've got a lot of time on your hands, and you're probably not that interesting anyway.
Yeah. Because I think now as well, brands are looking for other ways to communicate with people too.
Yeah.
Which is, obviously social media is a good avenue for that.
Yeah.
But now obviously we're here doing my podcast, but podcast has suddenly become massive. And actually, what I think is great about podcasting is that you can actually pick the exact subject you want to listen to, the exact person. You know what I mean? And
I'm doing this podcast. I've only listened to a couple of podcasts in my life because I don't really know what I'm doing.
I'll teach you.
Yeah, Neil will teach me and I'll be fine.
Yeah. But, I think even podcast is helping to reach out to people because it's so specific what you listen to.
And I think that's great it's like an audio book, really, isn't it? Which I have bought quite a lot of audio books, being dyslexic. I like to have the book and the audio.
Yeah.
But, this is like radio for me as well, because sometimes I listen to radio when I'm cooking. Because, I don't have to look.
Yeah.
And there's like, that was funny.
Yeah.
I always listen to Nick Grimshaw because he makes me laugh.
Yeah, he's funny.
Yeah. I always have radio on in the office.
Yeah. I must admit, I quite like a bit of a radio.
Yeah.
I went off it for a while and now I'm back on it again.
Yeah, I like radio.
Yeah. I've got my little dab radio here now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. It's old school, but it's
good.
All right, Ben. Well, listen, thanks. That's the serious questions and done with. Now we're going to go to the last bit, which is my rapid quick-fire questions.
All right. Oh, because this is like a game, so obviously I love
this is like Mastermind. You've got 2 minutes.
Oh, I don't know
Mastermind.
You haven't
got 2 minutes. But the idea with these is we could just have a bit more fun with them.
Oh, my God, I could secretly look to them. Can't help myself.
No. But you can answer these in one sentence, one word, or you can elaborate if you want.
Okay, all right. Okay.
So it's just that I'll move you on quite quickly if you're waffling on too long.
If I'm boring you, yeah.
Okay. So first off, what's your guilty pleasure?
Pizza and GC. The GC.
Oh, Gemma. She your guilty pleasure?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in what way though?
Because I don't really like her.
But you can't stop watching her?
But I can't stop watching her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't stop watching her.
I'm a bit the same. Yeah. Okay. What's your favourite food? You've just said though, pizza.
Yeah, I like pizza. I like loads of food. Lemon meringue pie.
Really?
Yeah, I love that because I can't really make it.
I like key lime pie. That's my favourite.
Oh, right.
If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
I mean, I was going to say to know what people are thinking, but maybe that would make me paranoid. Because maybe I don't need to know sometimes.
So you wanted to be a mind reader?
Yeah. Superpower.
You can have a think about it and come back to it.
Can I have a couple?
Yeah, go on.
Well, I'd like to be able to read really fast.
Right. Speed read.
Yeah, speed read. And memorise things.
So photographic memory.
Yeah, and add up stuff really quickly.
That's 3 things.
Yeah, it's going to another one.
Greedy. Are you a morning person?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Who would you like to play you in a film of your life?
Oh my god. Not Lisa Vanderpump.
Right, Lisa Vanderpump.
Not Lisa Vanderpump.
What a brilliant name. Not real?
Yeah. Not Lisa Vanderpump. Who would I want? Oh my god, someone gorgeous, obviously. Because it could have been me, then I could be anything I want. I would like it to be Sienna.
Oh, Sienna Miller.
Yeah, I think it could. Not that we look anyone, but she could look like me. Because I think she knows me, and it would be quite funny.
She would play you well because she knows you well, right?
Yeah, because sometimes she does me.
Yeah, that's a good answer, actually. Yeah. Okay, so Sienna.
Yeah.
Job for you, Sienna.
Yeah, she'd be like, oh, that's a killer part.
She'll be on the phone going, hang on.
She'd be down the market.
What's Wendy Rowe's daily beauty routine? Regime.
If I wear makeup, I take it off at night, cleanse. Take it off at night, cleanse, tone, moisturise. Maybe I do a mask. It alters. In the morning, water, cold, and then just toner.
Why cold?
Because it tightens up your skin.
Okay.
And obviously it's clean from the night before. So, and then I would just use an eye cream and a moisturiser, and I'm good to go.
Ready for the day.
Yeah, ready for the day. I mean, if I ever got moisturiser, and I have before, I've actually gone back to my flat to get it because it's like...
you can't live without it.
No, I said the other day when I done a talk with Glamour, it's like going out and forgetting to put your knickers on. I'd hate it.
Do you know what? I have to say, I've been putting moisturiser on for so long, if I forget when I get to work, the first thing I say to makeup artists, I need some moisturiser.
Yeah.
I don't like not having it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, it's all about the moisturiser. I'm with you on that one. What would you say is your best feature or personality trait?
Best feature probably eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I've got a little style now. Personality trait, that I'm quite funny.
Okay. Yeah, you are actually. We do have a lot.
Yeah.
Favourite place to eat?
Home.
What fashion trend did you always not like?
Oh, I mean, I've always liked a bit of a trend.
Do you know what mine is? Flares. Can't do flares.
Oh, well, I was thinking of makeup. I was thinking of makeup.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know we could have that. Oh, you know what I can't do, which I wish I could, but I just can't? White jeans. Like a short elephant. I mean, I'd love to wear white jeans. I see people in white jeans all the time. They look amazing.
Why do they look good on everyone else?
I don't know.
Yeah. Flares. I mean, I did do flares.
Not quite at all.
I know, but when I look at pictures, I'm like, what was I doing?
Elephant legs.
Yeah. Horrible. Karaoke song of choice?
Oh, probably Valerie by...
Amy Winehouse?
Yes.
Yeah. What annoys Wendy Rowe?
Messy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's quite tidy, isn't it? Right now. Natural versus chemical products?
Oh, natural, obviously.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Coffee or tea?
Oh. Now, I do like a coffee.
I knew this would be a debate.
Yeah. But I'm not into white tea at the moment. So I do like that.
Good antioxidant white tea.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
And I can drink it without milk, which is better for me.
Yeah. And I know you like a bit of tea with a piece of Victoria sponge.
Yeah, if I was going to have a Victoria sponge, I would have a normal cup of tea, PG, with milk. And won't need the sugar then.
Yeah. That is actually, I'm going to tell you, that's another of your guilty pleasures is Victoria sponge.
Yeah. Or a scone. Or any cake, really.
Favourite colour?
Blue.
Mine too.
Oh.
Have you ever done anything illegal?
Yeah, loads of stuff. I was just thinking I've done that and that and that and that.
Are you going to tell us one?
I don't want to get done.
No. Do you know what? Can I tell you? I interviewed someone the other day, and he would actually not tell me anything that he'd done because he went, "I just can't."
Yeah.
Because I just can't. I was like, okay.
Oh, I'll tell you. This is a silly one.
Yeah, cool.
When I first started to go to work, I obviously was just gone 16, and you used to have a card, a travel card for under 16s. I scraped off the number, and I wrote that I was younger.
Oh, you forged your age.
For a good year. For a good year.
Got away with it though.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what that is? Sign of a good criminal.
I know. Sign of a good artist.
New York or London?
Both. I love New York, but I can't live there all the time.
Yeah.
But I love London. If I had to be in one place forever, it would probably be London. But if you told me I couldn't go back to New York ever, I wouldn't
You'd
like
be
that.
a bit upset.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that.
Okay. Last one.
Oh, I was into this.
Oh, sorry. I've got 250 of them if you want. What's... Not on here. But I do it, in my research.
Yeah, in the mind.
Yeah. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
It was enjoy the journey. It's quite hard to do that sometimes.
I was going to say, that ain't easy, is it?
But you should, because no matter what much you get where you want it to be, it might not have been what you thought it was, so you better enjoy the process.
Well, yeah. And are you enjoying your journey right now?
If I died tomorrow...
God forbid.
Yeah, I would think I've had an interesting life and a full life.
Mm.
So, we can say
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wendy Rowe's enjoyed her journey so far. Yeah. That's good.
And
That's a good way to end.
And let's see where it takes
Let's see what road you turn down next. Yeah. Brilliant. Well, we're done.
Oh.
Oh.
Is that it?
That's it. Brilliant.
Yay! Oh, my legs are killing me now. Oh, I've got cramp.
I know, I must admit, the top of my legs were a bit stiff. Cool. That's it. Thank you for listening to In Bed with Neil Moodie. If you want to get in bed with me again and another of my guests, then you can subscribe to my podcasts on all the regular platforms to ensure that you don't miss an episode. There are other episodes already available to listen to if you want to hear more straight away. Thanks for listening.